So I think that we should send the Somalis all packing back to where they came from Africa. I don't know that it's legal, but definitely we should do that. It is definitely a good idea. And two, why is it that the conservatives get the whole financial stability and affordability crisis so wrong, as well as we kind of need to step up behind TPUSA. It's under a lot of attacks right now, and we need to do something about it. Welcome to the Ripple Effect. So to start off with, I'm actually going to go into the affordability thing first. So there's a lot of conversations about affordability because it looks like now that the markets are going up, right? Everything seems to be getting better, and that there might be a rate cut coming in here in December. And there is a lot of gobbledygook coming from the right on what makes affordability. And unfortunately, it lends itself to people that are like your Nick Fuenteses and so on that are reaching out to these young men because affordability is an issue. We really need to deal with this. And I was looking at, there was a statistic that was looked up by Ben Shapiro, and I listened to Ben because he kind of is like the front runner on these things when it comes to affordability and financial, and he thinks he's like an economic guru, and I don't care. Honestly, I think that you need to be one of the common people to be able to comment on these kind of things, because if you are so wealthy that you don't even realize how wealthy you are, then that's probably part of the problem, where you don't understand affordability at all. And one of the things that he mentioned is that people aren't moving. People aren't moving. If it's expensive to live in New York, you should just move. It's easy. Just move to a comparable job somewhere else. And what they don't think about, and what he doesn't realize, is he's had his family with him the entire time. So he's lived his entire life with having his family at his beck and call the entire time. Well, of course your wife can work. Of course you can work. I was looking at statistics based off of the exact same app and AI that he was using to get his statistics, because he was going back to the 80s and about how in the 80s people moved more often for work opportunities. And I was like, also, back then, there was a lot more mothers that were stay-at-home mothers because you could afford to do that. Now, it was even more so in the 70s, and it got a little less during the 80s, but it's been getting less and less up to this point where we're at like 10% of like, it was 35% were stay-at-home moms, anywhere but 35 and above, stay-at-home moms during the 80s, and now we're down to like 20 to 25. It has dropped dramatically because you can't afford to. Well, how is that? Well, because people are having to stay, with their families and stuff just to be able to basically survive so that everyone can go to work. Guess what? You move away from your family, you can't do that. I understand what that's like. We're not around family, so if I need if I need to go out date night with my wife, okay, it's expensive. I have to pay for a babysitter and all that other stuff, and how much do you trust these people? Like, there's a lot of things that are involved, and it's not just, oh hey, my wife needs to start working so we can drop them off with grandma. That's why they're not moving, Ben. That's why they're not moving, because it's more expensive to move than to stay in one place. That's just how it is. Now, to the Somali thing, honestly, I don't know how to do it. I'll admit it, I don't know how to do it, but send them packing. Send them packing. I don't care if we have to put an amendment in the Constitution where we can remove someone's citizenship that's if they've originated from a different country, but send them packing. They are absolute crap. And I'm not just saying this as in like individual people. I guarantee you there are individual people that are doing great. But when you look at the statistics of how much money that they've embezzled recently that's been come out, and I'm only waiting to see how much more is going to come out, and then it gets even worse on how much money they're taking from the government, and they're like, oh, well, don't worry, $145 million is given in taxes by the Somalis, and then come to find out that of the stuff that's presented of how much they're given taxes, they also are taking something like 40% of their income from the government in SNAP benefits, welfare benefits, and all that kind of stuff. And that's not even to include the over billion, I can't even remember how much it was, over billion amount of money, dollars, that was sent overseas to Somalia, to all these terrorist organizations, and so on, because they learned how to swindle the system. You can literally look at Ilhan Omar, and you know just how bad these people are. It doesn't take much. She should be out of Congress. For all the shenanigans she's pulled, you should get rid of her. Get her out of there. Send her back. You love the country that you came from so much. Go home. Go home. And part of this too is it has nothing to do with the type of people. You know why? Because I know all kinds of different kinds of people who come in here and take on the ethics of the country, take on the morals of the country, take on the ethos of what we are. And how dare you tell me that we don't have a right to have an ethos for our country when every stinking Tom, Dick, and Harry wants to come into our country because of the society and what we've built here through that ethos. I don't want to hear it. Don't give me none of your gobbledygook nonsense, all your garbage. I don't want to hear it. What makes America strong is the principles that it was built on. That's what makes it strong. Okay? And they're seeing the same problem where they're having to revise potentially our allies in Europe because Europe is being overrun so badly by all these Muslims and so on coming into the countries from all the refugee places. And it's like at some point you need to say stop. Stop. Stop bringing these people in. It's terrible. I mean, you'd like to say, hey, we'd like to reach out and help. But at some point, you got to say stop. And don't give me that crap that we are responsible for all these other countries. We're not. We're not. We are not responsible for any other country besides our own. And if we have to do actions, in other countries to protect our country or to protect our interests, that's called the fog of war. That's called, well, deal with it. Sorry, it stinks, but that's part of life, and it's been part of life since the very genesis of people. You don't just get to sit there and go, oh, well, your country made it hard for us, and so now we get to come take advantage of your country. No, that's not how it happens. Sorry, I'm not compassionate anymore on that kind of nonsense because we've seen what it does. When people come into our country and then destroy our country. And even to the point now where the Somali guy was out there, there was a report of a Somali guy who was saying his biggest regret is that Trump won't see them take over the country because he'll die from old age or something. Bet. Hope I'm using that right. But let's see. Keep pushing. We fought a civil war before, and even though I'm not calling for action, for a violent action, what I'm saying is we need to do something. And we've got to do something. If we have to change the laws to kick out this crap, kick it out. Get rid of them. Bring people in who want to build off of this country and off of the values of this country. And in my final note, TPUSA needs help. If you guys can help them out, please do so. I want to do a separate video on it because Candace, the crappy human being, crappy Candace or whatever you want to call her, is an absolute garbage trash heap of a human being. And she is trying to destroy everything that was ever to do with Charlie Kirk. And I'm going to do a different video on this because it's going to be longer and it'd be a lot. But I don't want to necessarily get into it right now. But what I want to say is this. There are good organizations out there, and we need to promote them. Just like this channel, I want you to promote my channel because I want to get this information out there and useful information. I've been trying to put out smaller videos that are very small tidbits that are very good information to get them out there and go, right? But what I'm trying to say is this. When you find a good organization, back it. If you find, we did this year too, where this is the first year we actually managed to do it because busy during Christmas times. But there's the gifts that they make for Christmas, where they send the Christmas gifts overseas to a child overseas. We did that this year, and it was fun. It was a great joy to do, and we know that it's going to be going to something good. There's places like Samaritan's Purse that for people in time of need. There's TPUSA to help action. There's even TPUSA Faith that has helped bring a lot of people together. And there's so many more organizations that are out there that are good, but we can't let them disappear. And if we let crappy people like Candace destroy something like TPUSA, we will not be winning elections anymore. We won these last elections because of TPUSA and Charlie Kirk. If we don't stand up against these people that are trying to destroy us, they're trying to destroy the right, they're trying to destroy everything we stand for. If we don't stop them, we won't have anything to stand with anymore. We won't be united behind anything. Please like, comment, and subscribe, and join the fight. Join the ripple effect. By subscribing and by spreading the word, you help us get out to more people. And if we can continue to grow small, good channels out there that are not just these mainstream top guys like Ben Shapiro and all them that are delusional and lost a little bit from their ways because they're so big now they can't even realize what it's like for normal people. That's why we need your help to grow this channel. My current goal is 100 subscribers. I'd like to get to 1,000, but let's get to 100. Thank you so much for watching.